All right, welcome back, St. Genevieve Dragons fans, to another day of baseball. Much better weather than we had last night as it was rainy and cold. Still a little bit chilly with the wind blowing, but the sun is actually out. Hopefully it'll stay out behind the clouds. And again, we're bringing you day 2 of the 2016 Valley St. Genevieve 5th Annual Opening Day Tournament. And today we're going to bring you the St. Genevieve Dragons, who will be the visitors on the scoreboard, versus the Cape Central Tigers, who is coached by Coach Tatum Kitchen. Rob Coleman here alongside Monk Kreitler again. Dennis, how we doing today?
A lot drier today,
Yes, yes.
Seems like 14 hours ago when we left here. About the same temperature, but we got some sun today to help us out and a lot drier.
Alongside Dennis Kreitler, we have Mr. Russ Toombs, who's doing the camera for you again today. Hopefully he can bring us some insight also here and there. So another great day for baseball. The Dragons come in, they were 1-1 yesterday, beat the Chester Yellow Jackets, and lost to the Scott City Rams. So, Coach, we talked to Coach McDaniel a little bit. I know, Monk, you got to talk to him. Any things that he mentioned as far as yesterday and going into today?
Well, again, he's with a young season, he's just trying to see who can play where in this young season. He's got a young team, and he's got a lot of players that are versatile that can play multiple positions. And Drew Toombs pitched last night, and now he's behind the plate for this game here, and it's just a shuffling around to see what works best to field the best team that you can.
I guess that's a good problem to have when you talk about versatility with players, especially when you have to bring in a new pitcher that may have played center field, and do you have somebody to fill his spots, or maybe it's a catcher. You talked about Toombs catching today, who had pitched yesterday. So, if you got a guy that can step in at catcher and do a good job of filling that spot, I guess it's a positive problem to have.
Oh, definitely. Derek Morgan-Thaler today is going to be pitching for St. Genevieve, a freshman. He played left field yesterday, had a couple of big hits in the first game. So he's going to step up and do the work of throwing on the bump.
It seems like the Dragons have a mixture of, you mentioned freshman Derek Morgan-Thaler, Brady Boyer, Grant Staffen plays second base, and I know Brady had a good hit yesterday, and with 2 RBIs, and then they got a sophomore, Drew Toombs, and Selby, who DHs. And then you got a mixture of juniors out there. And so I guess for the Dragons, like you mentioned, with all the different kids in different grades and the newbies, like you said, it's going to take some time, I guess, to find that perfect lineup and where guys fit best. But it looks like we have the same lineup as yesterday, if you want to run through that real quick.
Okay. Leading off for the Dragons, number 25, Wyatt Lamonier, and he's playing center field. And again, batting second, number 3, Grant Staffen, who's playing second base. Batting in the third spot, Dalton Giesler. And the cleanup person again today, Waylon Kemper, who's playing third base. Then behind the plate, like I said just a little bit ago, number 29, Drew Toombs. Playing first base for the Dragons, Daniel Vaith. And behind Daniel Vaith, we have Brady Boyer out in right field again. And pitching and batting for himself, Derek Morgan-Thaler, and Selby again batting in the ninth spot for Brandon Henson, who is playing shortstop. And it looks like we're ready to go.
Again, the Dragons will be the visitors, so they will bat first. And on the mound for the Tigers is number 3, Brock Bauer, another lefty, just like the Dragons seen yesterday. Wyatt Lamonier starts by seeing ball 1.
Last night he walked 2 times in the twilight game.
That's what you want out of your leadoff batter. Get him on base. Hopefully you can move him over and get a couple hits. He's got the speed to get around the bases. So as a leadoff batter, you want to see a lot of pitches early on, make the pitcher work, let your other batters behind you see what kind of stuff the pitcher has. As Bauer comes home, throws one in the dirt, and that'll be 3-0 for Wyatt Lamonier.
Think the take sign's in order here?
I think so. We had a good
Do you have
conversation.
to have a sign for that?
Yeah, I would hope not. I mean, you got a veteran kind of here at White Lombardier, and leadoff batter, like I said, he should be looking as he takes ball 4, and Wyatt leads off with a walk. Exactly what you want. Get your leadoff man on base. This happened yesterday. Grant Staffen came up and had the bunt signal and popped it up. So let's see if McDaniel decides to do that again today.
I got to think that that's probably a pretty good chance.
Lombardier with a little bit
Third
of a lead at
baseman's
first.
kind of creeping in.
Bauer comes set, comes home, and high.
And a pitcher, he hasn't thrown a strike yet.
That is true. You wait.
I would
maybe.
think you're going to probably take a strike at least to keep him honest
And
before squaring up, maybe.
I was going to say, then do you try button after you take a strike? And tendency to, maybe put yourself in the hole.
Yeah.
There's a strike. So evens the count 1-1 for Bauer. Staffen looks down at McDaniel as he gives him the signs. Now, are you a sign guy? Do you give signs, or are you like last night? What was it? Scott City had just yelled out colors, numbers, and stuff.
In the past, I've always given out signs.
There's a bunt. Taps it. Almost popped out again. Pitch was a little bit high, I think. Probably could have pulled that one back and taken it for a ball.
Yes, in the past I've used signs. However, wanting to move to the wristband playbook type thing and just call out a number, and the batters and the runners would look down at the wristband to pick up the signal.
Bauer comes set again. The kick, the throw, and fouls it off.
Did a good job of fighting that one off.
Do you see a advantage or disadvantage of either one? I mean, obviously you're just letting your players know, but when I grew up, I've never ever seen anybody do the wristband in baseball. So why are some coaches going to that?
Yeah, it started in football.
Mm-hmm.
Football players used it, and then all of a sudden here within the last 2 or 3 years, it's really picked up in baseball and in softball. And I think some of the players that I've heard like the wristband. There's not that much confusion if you say a number and a letter, as opposed as going all over the touches of your body and trying to pick out a sign.
Yeah, when you do the signs, I guess you've got to see that indicator, and if you miss the indicator, then you don't do what you're supposed to. So I can see it probably is more simplified. Do you think that it's easier for another team to pick up what you're doing?
Yeah, you got to mix up your numbers and letters as often as you can. Try not to use the same ones, just like you would on touching a body part over and over again.
The count's 2-2 for Staffen. Bauer brings it home, and Staffen fouls off another one. Good at bat here for Grant. Again, seeing a lot of pitches early on is good. Get deep into the pitcher's count. And the sun has went away, you can tell.
Still have some majority of the fans with the blankets. Yeah. I'm sure they're drier than the last night's pickoff.
Safely back at first. And you did mention we have 2 people on the hill tonight. Looks like maybe 2 high school young ladies. Bauer gets his sign, sets, looks at first. The leg kick, the throw, and high.
He's having problems getting that curveball down. Seems to be hanging it. Just not getting the grip on the ball. Release points off. Fills it up. Runner could be moving. Full count.
I'll have to apologize again. Still having the sniffles, as I was called Mr. Sniffles last night from Dana Bowen. I don't know if she's listening today. She didn't like my first loser comment whenever she was second in line for our contest. So
we'll try to give her another shot today.
Yeah. We'll figure out something. Full count here for Staffen as the pitcher brings it home. And he fouls that one off. Probably ball 4, but better safe than sorry.
He tomahawked one in the right center gap last night. Maybe that's what he was thinking this time.
He did. That is true. Good memory. After a good night's sleep, you remember that. Full count again. Bauer looking in, shakes off the sign, gets what he likes, comes set. The leg kick,
runner
Wyatt
moving.
Lomadier comes, shot down third base, down the line, and that'll move Lomadier over to third. The steal was on, and it paid off as that allowed Lomadier to get a good jump off the hit by Staffen, and so that'll have runners at first and third for the Dragons with no outs.
Third baseman was playing well off the line there. Wyatt was on his way easily to third base. Good piece of hitting there.
So in comes Dalton Giesler, number 9. He's got some runners out there. If he can just put the ball maybe in the outfield and put it in play as he takes ball 1 high. Bauer's looking, he seems like he's leaving a lot of pitches up, so maybe if Dalton can find something not quite too high and drive it into the outfield. Another pitch at home. Ball 2.
First and third here, nobody out. Take a chance on trying to move the runner, stay out of the double play. Look, probably going to score a run.
Yeah.
Something put in play on the ground.
You know, you mentioned yesterday, we don't have the conditions of yesterday, but, you know, just make the defense make a play, you know.
And with no outs here, you know, you might have an angle down situation that you call on a ground ball, you know, hit that you just go. And those runners, you are supposed to move up on a throw home. So at the very least, you would have second and third with 1 out. If the runner on third goes on contact on an angle down ball hit, and they throw home and get him in a rundown, the other 2 runners are supposed to step up. Ground ball to short.
There it is.
Double play.
Elwoody beats it out. Nice job by Dalton to put the ball in play. Ground ball, kind of slow to the shortstop with the speed of Lomadier, able to score. And that really goes back to now this, you know, having him steal and getting him over to third, because if you were at first and second, you're definitely not getting a run and maybe even a double play chance there. So Dalton Giesler comes through, at least puts the ball in play and gets an RBI. If I remember right, Dalton had 4 RBIs in last night's game.
That's a good way to start a season.
Now brings Drew Toombs up to bat. No, sorry, Waylon Kemper. My fault. Toombs is seeing him standing right in front of me. He's on deck. Waylon Kemper to bat with Giesler at first. Ooh. Bauer brings the count to 1-1. 1 out. Runner on first, and a Dragon strike first. 1-0. Ooh, Kemper chases that one into the turf. And it's quickly 1-2. I think, you know, I mean, you're anxious to hit, but you haven't seen a lot of strikes thrown right down the middle. You think you should really probably wait and sit on one.
I agree.
Bauer comes home again. Ground ball, shortstop. Looks like Dalton's going to make it to second. And, ooh, got him on the tag, it looked like. I think the throw brought him off the base, but he was able to tag Kemper. That was number 8, Cooper Krosno. Hopefully I don't say that wrong. But anyway, Dalton Giesler was able to move to second, so now you do have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. And now Drew Toombs comes to bat, number 29. Toombs is a sophomore, catching. Been a long inning so far for Bauer.
A lot of pitches. Doesn't seem to be overpowering. He's just struggling with a little control, especially on his curveball, off speed.
Well, the 3 balls that have been hit, they've all been to the left side, so the Dragons aren't behind him by any means. Giesler gets a good lead at second, comes home, a bit high and away. Toombs 1-0 count. Daniel Vase steps into the on-deck spot. Bauer checks on the runner at second, comes home in the turf. Good block by the catcher to keep Giesler at second. The catcher will go down and talk to his pitcher, try to calm him down a little bit. Again, we're here in the first inning. Dragons has got the lead 1-0 on Wyatt Lomiter crossing the plate on a ground ball fielder's choice by Dalton Giesler.
First inning here, it's nice always to get a run, but if you got a chance to get another run, sneak one home. Good cut.
Good swing.
Head down, just missed it.
2-1 the count.
It was a hitter's pitch right there. He took a good, healthy cut at it.
Time called by the catcher, I think. As Toombs steps out, gets a couple practice swings in, digs back in. Bauer comes set, checks on Giesler at second, comes home, and strike two is taken on the inside corner.
Chokes up on the bat a little bit.
It's good to do with 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Giesler in the lead, and strike 3 as Toombs goes down swinging. But the Dragons are able to score here on the top of the first. Again, Wyatt Lomiter scoring on a fielder's choice by Dalton Giesler. And that'll give Derek Morgenthaler the lead as he comes to pitch here in the bottom of the first.
Rob, this tournament's been kind of modified a little bit here today. You know, it's the Valley St. John opening day tournament, but with the weather that set in last night, made some fields around the area wet. I think they modified it to where everybody, this is a site here that they're going to play everybody one time, and the other teams at the other sites are going to try to make up their games sometime down the road.
So will they, my question is, I wasn't sure, they'll get their game today here, but will we reschedule another game also? I mean, I know the sites that weren't able to play, so, and Toombs is saying yes, we will also reschedule.
The winner of each bracket will schedule a game sometime later in the year.
The winner of each bracket will reschedule.
And this site here is it would be the silver bracket, so I think the gold bracket is not being played.
They played at R7.
He's got a gold, a silver, and a bronze
Okay.
game.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe Valley played at R7 today. I don't know if I don't think they have turf, but maybe it didn't rain as much up there. So, and that's why we put it in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder who came up with or invented, I guess, the turf field. I mean, lots of money, I'm guessing.
Lots. I would say within the next 5 to 7 years, you're going to see a lot of baseball fields.
Yeah, well,
like
just
that.
like football.
I think it just makes sense. If you're playing in the spring, you're going to run into a lot of weather, and it's even like last night. We played through, and there really wasn't an issue at all that I seen.
No, and and last night was one of those nights where you could have probably played on a regular dirt field at least to a certain extent because it didn't pour, but as like we said before, even a slow rain will definitely cause problems on your pitching mound and in the batter's box.
Right. Cape Central comes up, leadoff batter Brock Boyer.
And Derek Morgenthaler, freshman on the mound for the first time this season, is a lefty. He winds, brings it home. Ball 1 as he's high. Morgenthaler again comes home, and that one's right down the middle for strike 1. Brings the count to 1-1. I know Coach McDaniel's probably excited to see how Derek will do. Looking for some more pitching on the staff. Is pretty much used, maybe not all the innings, but from the guys that he had returning with Lomiter, Vaith, Toombs yesterday. So we did see Brewster getting ready to warm up yesterday, but hasn't pitched yet. So still have him. Lomiter evens the count again to 2-2. Or
I'd
not
like to
Lomond
think
Anderson,
that maybe
Morgantown.
he might be able to get a couple innings today.
Mhm.
See how long Derek can throw here, and you know, if you want to give some people other opportunity.
Tad bit high. The other thing, you have now 2 lefties on the staff with Vaith and Morgan Thaler. As he brings it home, and he fouls that one off. Brings again the count full, 3-2. In number 3, Brock Bauer batting, the pitcher. Kind of a different batting stance there to start, and he takes ball 4. So a leadoff walk, and for the Dragons, when they got their leadoff walk, they were able to capitalize with a run, and so we'll see if the Tigers can do.
Similar situation for the Tigers here than it was the Dragons a while ago. I kind of expect a bunt situation to move the runner just early in the game, nobody out.
Tad bit high.
Of course, if the batter here, Justin Vaught, if he's got a lot of confidence going and the coach believes on him, then I expect him to hit too.
Strike as he swings and misses. Yeah, sometimes a bunt makes sense, but when you got a certain guy up to bat, I mean, if you're cleanup hitter or really good hitters up, you're not going to waste a bunt on that, on him. So, and that could be the case here. And he got him in a pickle. That was Bauer there that got picked off, but just really did probably the only thing he could have done, and just took off as fast as possible, and just outbeat the throw.
And the problem with that is Morgan Thaler, he's looking in, and in the first movement, his first movement towards first base, he just takes off.
Yeah.
And Morgan Thaler throws a normal throw.
And there's a shot to left, right to Dalton Giesler, as he's in good position to make the first out. So 1 out here with a runner on second. Yeah, I mean, if you're the runner, it's just something you just probably do. I mean, if you know you're caught, just take off and, again, try to make something happen rather than try to get in a pickle. I would say 99% of the time you get in a pickle, you're going to be out.
Oh, yeah.
At the high school level.
He did the right thing. He kept on going full stride, head first slide, and was able to beat the throwback for Vaith to Henson. Just wasn't enough time.
So we got 1 out now. With Central with a runner on second. That's Bauer trying to get help himself with a run. Morgan Thaler comes, and that ball's fouled off to the right side. And, almost got a van. Is that yours, Toombs? Uh-oh.
Why would we park there?
I think Nancy's she's watching the game from inside the car. She's smart as far as staying warm, but might have to call the insurance agent before the game's over. Morgan Thaler comes home, shot in the dirt, brings the count to 1-1. Trying to look for an out here, a strikeout, maybe another ground ball to at least keep the runner on second from scoring. The score is 1-0 as we'll try to fix that on the video here. Thank you, Mr. Schweiss. And
ball gets away on an inside pitch.
So Bauer moves down to third. So now, will they bring the infield in? It's early in the game, but would like to keep the lead. So it looks like Coach McDaniel will bring the infield in, as everybody's right at the edge of the grass, or the green part of the turf. Ground ball to third. He throws home, and he got him. Nice play by Toombs to catch the ball. Was a good shot as far as speed, but it was over to his right side. He had to catch it, kind of jump. Yep.
And jump over across to get him. From our view, he did get him right on the left shoulder. The umpire was kind of blocked, I think, even though he made the correct call. He did call him out, and it was a nice play.
Yeah, good defensive play to keep the runner from scoring. And that was Jacqueline Cummins who hit that, is now on first base. And here we have a ground ball to Hinson at short, and he throws him out. And that was Clayton Reynolds. So they were trying to beat that one out. And so the Dragons do a good job of keeping the score 1-0 as they had a runner that reached third, and a great play by Kemper and Toombs to keep the run from scoring. So Derek Morgenthaler with his first inning of work does a good job to keep the lead. So we'll move into the top of the second, and the Dragons will come to bat. And I believe we have, who we got coming up?
Flip it over here. Daniel Vaith will be leading it off for the Dragons, followed by Brady Boyer and Derek Morgenthaler. I just want to bring up the runner at third there going home. Looked like he was going on a ground ball, no matter what there. With one out, that's, it's a pretty risky thing to do. With no outs, it makes a lot of sense because the runner should be able to move up. With one out, maybe not so much because then it's just 2 outs with a runner on. So,
yeah, especially, he's had to see that the infield was in, and the ground ball maybe to, second or short if you know it's going to go a little deeper and further. Maybe you take the chance. You got speed. It was their leadoff batter with some speed, but that ball was hit right in front of him to the third baseman. It should have been easy to see that. Would have been tough to score.
That's something that your third base coach, communicates with your player on third, and you tell them whether they're either going to go on contact on the ground or you're going to hold and possibly advanced on a throw or, other things. So many different variables to how you can play it.
Yeah. Well, and, could have been told one thing. We talked about that yesterday. You tell your kids one thing, and they do the opposite.
Exactly.
So high school kids do make mistakes. Daniel Vaith will lead off here as a lefty. So we got lefty on lefty matchup here as Bauer still pitching. He brings the first pitch in for a strike. It looks like the fielders, everybody playing them straight away. Third baseman in line with the bag, almost to the green. As Vaith didn't hold up on that one, so that brings the count to 0-2.
Kind of surprised him there on that curveball.
Bauer winds and comes home, and Vaith chases that one into the dirt. Catcher will have to step out and throw him out at first. 1 out to start here in the top of the second inning. In the bat comes freshman Brady Boyer playing right field for the Dragons. Had a good base hit yesterday on the left side, I think, for an RBI or 2. Bauer comes home. Ball inside and low. Bauer again gets the sign. The windup and the pitch. Ball outside, 2-0.
Good hitters count here.
As you hear Coach Gibson, nothing up. You want the ball you can drive and find a hole somewhere. There it is, and he hits it right to the shortstop. He's got some speed. Will he beat it out? And, they call him out. Very close play. I wouldn't want to call it myself, so I'll take the umpire's word for it. It looked close.
Brady had an awesome swing during that at bat. 2-0 count. That's a hitter's pitch to swing. You can tell he really loaded up well and
just
hit the ball solid, but just right at somebody.
In steps Derek Morgenthaler.
That's the thing here in baseball, You can hit the ball well, but there's 8 other people out there.
Yeah. Yep. Morgenthaler turns on that one. That's a little bloop. And that's going to, second baseman had it in his glove, tripped over the right fielder, and dropped the ball. So they're saying he didn't have it and he's slow to get up, and that was number 5, Justin Vaught, is the right fielder. But the second baseman was running backwards and almost caught the ball, but tripped, and then it popped out of his glove.
That's one of those plays you know we can just stand here and look at, and you're like, oh, something's bad's going to happen here. I'm just grateful that you know, both of them are okay. The right fielder does look a little bit shaken up, as he probably took the brunt of the contact.
You know, and a lot of times you're going to say your right fielder should be calling off your second baseman, but that's a spot where I don't know if either one of them thought they were going to get to it. So
that ball was just hit, you know, right in a good place where I'm just amazed that the second baseman, you know, put a glove on it the way it looked.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, it would have been a great catch if he'd have held on to it. So we got a runner on first with Selby, the DH, up to bat. He fouls that one back, so he's behind in the count now, 0-2. 2 outs.
Selby was the one that hit a deep ball to right field last night for a double to score a run, I believe.
Camden Rowe did take over for running for, was that, Morgan Thaler, the pitcher, yeah. And then Selby takes a high strike, swings and miss, and that'll end the top of the second. So we go to the bottom of the second with the Central Tigers coming to bat with St. Genevieve Dragons still winning 1-0.
While we got a little bit of time, I'd like to give a little shout out to Lexi Bova, who's watching some of my kids to make it possible so I could come up here and bring this game to some of our listeners out there. So thanks a lot, Lexi.
Jeez.
And if you need a good babysitter, give Lexi Bova a call.
There you go. Tell her Monk Kreitler sent you. Maybe get a discount?
I don't know.
Probably
I shell
not.
out enough money as it is for babysitting.
I can imagine.
We had to conquer and divide today. Lexi's only got half of my kids, so Grandma's got the other half. Don't call Grandma. Grandma only wants ours.
Do you ever have more than one babysitter to watch them?
Absolutely. When they're all 5 there, then yes, we have to. I wouldn't want to watch them all 5. So.
Well, it's got to be.
And if there's anybody out there that would like to babysit my kids, just let me know and we can make that happen.
It's got to be interesting at your house. That's for sure.
It is right now.
I can imagine, you know, bath times and home. Well, I guess there's not a lot of homework yet. We got two of them.
You would be surprised. Up to bat for the Tigers, Cooper Cosno. Sounds like a hockey name.
Yeah, Cooper Crosno. As he takes strike 1 from Derek Morgan Thaler, here comes the second pitch, a tad bit high, so that'll even the count, 1-1.
You know, Rob, we talked a little bit yesterday about basketball and your season. You had a great season and everything, but, you know, as I went home last night and I started reflecting on what we talked about yesterday, made me think about, you know, you're a PE teacher in the middle schooler, and I am a PE teacher in the elementary, and we see these kids at different ages go through. And, you know, I've had some of these kids in my classroom when I taught 4th grade, and it just, you know, it's just wonderful to see how these kids develop, you know, as a person and as an athlete.
It is amazing. You know, you think some of these guys, you know, I was in the elementary for a while too, and you just, I don't know, you just don't know how they're going to turn out. I mean, you can kind of see it a little bit, but so much changes from that time, and it is amazing to see how they grow and change, and the relationships that you kind of build with them. You know, you think, obviously, with your own kids, you have a great relationship with. There as Crosno takes ball 4 and walks, but you know, it's probably fair to say, with especially your softball girls, when you spend so much time with them outside of school, and that you create, I mean, almost like a father-daughter, or in my case, father-son relationship with these kids, even though they're not yours.
Absolutely. I mean, I would do the same thing with kids I see at school, whether it's, during school or coaching after school, the same as I would with my own kids.
These sophomores that play now, I've actually, got to coach them when they're 8, 9 years old, or whenever I think we started the River Dogs baseball team for those guys, and so I've got to see those guys specifically change in baseball over time, and there's only, I think, 4 of them that are still playing, but again, it's just a great thing to see, like you said, how they grow, and then when they're gone and they come back after they graduate, Drew Smelsley, now he's only 1 year gone, but he's here helping the baseball team. There's a pop-up to the left side. Kemper going to run it down, and almost a good catch by Kemper. But especially when they come back from college and they've got jobs, or I went, I think it was this last summer, to a wedding of one of the kids that I've coached, and that's kind of neat too, as it that relationship continues to stay through after high school.
Absolutely. And it's just a good feeling, to have been a part of their lives for at one point, through their school years, and then to see them, have success too whenever they grow up.
Yeah, you like the sport, you want to win games, and but in the long run, it's about making them better people too. And there's a shout out to center field. Wyatt Lominer will run that one down and catch a pop fly for the second out of the inning.
That was Ryan Teagle, the
one
second
out,
baseman.
First out of the inning, sorry. So Morgan Thaler is doing a good job, at least, throwing strikes, not striking a lot of guys out, but getting hits where making his fielders do the work, and he's doing a great job so far. The Tigers do have a runner on first, again with 1 out, as Morgan Thaler just threw over to check on that runner. Now he comes home, ball inside for ball 1.
For the Tigers, that's Kaylor Ward up to bat right now.
On first is Cooper Krosno. So he takes his lead, and Morgan Thaler comes home. Strike 1. I looked a little outside, but got the call. Morgan Thaler comes set, lifts the leg, and off the turf, that actually hit the front of the base, it looked like. Took a high bounce. That allows Cooper to move over to second. Yeah, it did.
It went front of the plate.
Really high. So now they got a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Morgan Thaler comes home, ground ball to third. Kemper looks him back, throws across. Tad bit high and away. Vaith comes off the base but still misses it. And so Krosno will move to third, and the runner is safe at first. So Kemper maybe just a tad bit too long trying to look back that runner, then had to rush the throw, and it kind of got away from him. He did a good job. Everything.
He made a good job of anchoring down, making a good play on a ball. It just ball came out wrong in his hand and kind of sailed.
Mm-hmm. And
Vaith is a tall.
Yeah, and he tried coming off the base, and he did hit his glove, but wasn't able to catch it. I think he still would have been moved over to third, even if Vaith would have caught it. So, but now the Dragons are in a little bit of trouble here. We've got first and third for the Tigers with 1 out. Morgan Thaler's keeping the runner at first close. And we'll see what they decide to do as he brings a strike for Morgan Thaler, a little bit high, as Cape fans didn't like that call from the umpire.
And we got the catcher for Cape Central up, John Young.
Morgan Thaler comes home. Runner goes to first. Toombs catches, throws it down, and Staffen, the second baseman, cuts it off about halfway through. Talked about that situation last night of all the different things you could do. You could try to throw him out at second, fake it, just fake hard throw to third right away, try to catch that guy off for that little cutoff play.
That play right there that they just did, that, normally,
strike,
your second baseman is coming down into that middle ground, that middle area behind the pitcher and in front of second base, that he's got the view to look at the runner at third, whether he's taken off or not. He can cut that off
Or let it go.
or let it go.
Well, I think at this point, with only a 1-0 lead, you're probably more thinking cut it off. There's a shot to center. Wyatt Lominder
Nice
was right
play.
there. Good play by Wyatt. That was a tough line drive hit. Had to come in quickly and makes the play. So that gets the Dragons out of the jam and keeps the score after 2, 1-0 in favor of the Dragons. You know, I was just mentioning, you know, and maybe in his mind he was going to cut it no matter what. You know, the safe play just to keep the runner at third.
That's possible. I mean, you could have a play like that, you know, and to be conservative. And it all worked out at the end here. You know, and the wind's blowing in here a bit. The ball's not traveling out. Wyatt looked like he had a good jump, and, you know, that ball wasn't that far off the ground. It was a nice line drive. Probably would have been a base hit.
Yeah.
You know, into the season where it gets a little bit warmer and everybody's playing normal depth. That's probably a base hit and scoring 2 runs.
So as a coach, you know, you just got to sit there and think about these things. I mean, is that something I guess
It's
you
a lot
relate
to process.
your players that, you know, I mean, because if you knew the batters late in the season, maybe you have statistics on them. If it's a conference team that you see maybe more, you know, okay, this guy doesn't have the power, so you play in. But you're talking about not really the player as much as the time of the season, the conditions, the weather, and the ball not going to travel as much. So it is a lot to think about, you know, because those.
I think that's a good point. I mean, you're early in the season. This is game 3 here for the Dragons, and, you know, you normally, as we get through, you know, 10, 15 games, you're going to have those plays where maybe the second baseman doesn't cut that off, and you go on vision and feel on making a play.
Staffin's a freshman. You know, do you put that much on a?
He's got to, you know, play some games to trust that situation and his instincts.
A lot to think about as a manager.
It's just unfair sometimes. You got to make those decisions within a few seconds. There's no timeouts.
No, you're right.
30-second timeout, a full timeout.
It's a different situation. You got a lot of different things that could happen, and that goes in any sport. But like you said, you don't have a timeout. You can go talk to the pitcher and maybe talk to some other guys and the players. You know, basketball is it's constantly going. There's not too many stops. You know, football, I mean, you get the huddle, but I think that might be a difference in some coaches. You know, a lot of coaches say, well, you know, you've got good players, you're going to win, which is true. But there's truth in having good coaches that can make these decisions and really think about all the factors and put them in play too. So there's Wyatt Lominder, sorry, ground back to the pitcher. Just seen the lefty and didn't see the number. So in comes Grant Staffen. So 1 out here in the top of the third for the Dragons.
Grant, base hit down the third base line last at bat.
Yeah, that was the hit that moved Wyatt Lominder to third. Was able to score the run then off Dalton Giesler's hit. And Staffen drives one in the left center, a lot of air, and the center fielders camped underneath that for the second out of the inning. So 2 outs for the Tigers as they're moving right along here in the top of the third. And now coming to bat for the Dragons, number 9, Dalton Giesler. Giesler again had that, was that the shortstop?
Yes, fielder's choice RBI to give the Dragons lead.
See if he can get, nope, there's another ground ball to the shortstop. He backhands it, throws it across, and gets him for the third out of the inning. So again, just like the last time, but this time it was 2 outs, nobody on, and so Giesler is the third out. So the Dragons go to the bottom of the third with a 1-0 lead. See if Derek Morgenthaler can again continue his good pitching to keep that lead. He's had some runners on, but he's done a good enough job. Again, throwing strikes, letting his fielders make some plays.
Yeah, both teams putting the ball in play. It's, you know, the defense is doing their part to step up and make the plays. It looks like our radar reports for both teams. It looks like Derek's throwing around 69 miles an hour consistently, and the Cape Central pitcher is right around 71. So not too much difference there.
And the radar gun brought to you by Brock Kreitler.
Yeah.
He's in the stands for us, taking care of that.
I got my family working everywhere.
Yeah, you do. The wind has picked up a little bit. Sun's behind the clouds, so a little bit chillier. Not too bad when the sun's out and the wind's not blowing, but
Definitely an improvement from last night.
yeah, not wet. Rain not coming in.
Even the
face.
professionals wouldn't stick around to do what we did last night.
Yeah, that's right. We did. We stuck it out. That's
stuck it out.
because we get paid so much. We
That's
had
right.
to.
That's right.
All those zeros on the paycheck.
And that's what it amounted to last night, was a 0 for us.
Zero. Just nothing in front of them is the problem. Still waiting on maybe some sponsors for that. All right, Morgan Thaler starts here in the bottom of the third. He brings in the first pitch. Ball one.
And we're back to the top of the order for the Tigers. Brock Boyer, who walked the last time.
Ball two.
And he seems like he's on that same path with a 2-0 count.
Morgan Thaler with the windup. The pitch. Ball three.
Just
blown
trying
away.
to judge maybe the next game. It looks like Chester, the the Yellow Jackets.
Is
And
that,
is it
Perryville?
Perryville Pirates? Yes.
Looks like Perryville Pirates. As Morgan Thaler brings a strike in there to bring the count 3-1 on Bauer. It is the Perryville Pirates. As
And
we go with our spot guy, Russ Toombs. And Morgan Thaler brings it in. Ball four. It's a tad bit low and inside. So, again, Bauer gets a leadoff walk. Last time he was able to make it all the way over to third base, but the play by Kemper to Toombs to keep in from scoring. So, as the batter gets the signs from the coach.
that's Derek's third walk that he's given up. Still not a hit yet for the Tigers. Put the ball in play, but still haven't found pay dirt yet.
Oh, as Morgan Thaler is coming home. Time was called by the pitcher. It always frustrates you, especially you can see him looked like it was going to be a strike. So Morgan
He looked
Thaler
like
a little upset.
he might have let up a little bit.
Yeah. But you hate to do that when you're in your windup ready to bring it and then have to kind of let up. And there's a shot down the third base line. It's fair
Just
over
as I say,
Giesler.
just
to
as
cut
I
it
say,
off.
there wasn't a hit.
No, you
I
ruined it.
blew it.
Should have known. Should have known. You don't talk about it.
Shame on me.
Yes. You are going to be fined. Fined. Taking 1-0 off that paycheck.
Take a 0 off that paycheck. I'm down to nothing again.
Pretty soon you're going to have to pay us to do this. So we got our
Kind of actually am.
Yeah, true.
In my own little weird little way with babysitting costs.
So maybe you should write that up to Nix and get that
My
paid for.
requisite I'm going to turn in next week.
The babysitting cost. You put that in like your coaching stipend. You got to pay for babysitters to go coach.
Eventually, they're all going to be in the field doing something.
Yeah, that's true. So the Tigers got first and second here with no outs in the bottom of the third inning as Morgan Thaler brings a strike in there to even the count 1-1. So we'll see what the Dragons do, get out of this trouble.
This batter here, Jaqueen Cummins, he hit into a fielder's choice to the third baseman. Like to see him do that again this time. It's a pitch. Just a bit inside. Brings the count to 2-1.
Morgan Thaler sets, comes home. Right up to the shortstop. Can they turn two? Staffen touches second. Over to first.
Yes.
Vaith reaches and getting.
Yes.
Nice play by the infielders and Daniel Vaith at first at turn two. Looked like it was going to be really close. The exchange was good, but looked a little slow, but the good arm by Staffen to
Good
throw the
arm.
guy out
Good
at first.
Pivot, a good
Yeah.
pivot, right off second base, and followed up with a strong arm.
So now we got a runner on third with 2 outs. We'll see what the Dragons can do here. As Morgenthaler brings in ball 1.
That's a good hit, but he hit it up what I call double play lane.
Yeah.
You hit it up double play lane. Nobody really rushed anything. They knew they had plenty of time.
And there's a ground ball to short. Oh! Closed the glove just a little too soon, and that'll allow a run to score. So we got an error on that run.
Error on Henson to allow the runner Boyer to score.
And Morgenthaler had himself out of that jam there in that inning. It was the ground ball. He came in and just looked like he closed his glove a little too early and stopped the ball. Didn't let it go through, but wasn't able to pick it up. So that brings the game to tied at 1-1 here in the bottom of the third. 2 outs with a runner on first. And your favorite guy is batting. Favorite name, right?
Cooper Crosno.
Cooper Crosno. 2-0 is the count. As that was number 19 that got that RBI. Clayton Reynolds. I guess error, but. And it's 3-0 now, the count.
No RBI on that.
No, I messed that up. You could tell who's the statistician here.
No walk by
Mr. Kreitler.
That's the 4th walk given up by Morgenthaler.
I'm just here for looks, and he does the stats.
And you do that well, my friend. And the voice of St. Genevieve baseball. Caught quite a few compliments last night from I heard.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go home and listen to any of us
I didn't either.
talk. I listen to myself talk a lot.
I don't want to hear myself. It's like every once in a while I'll hear myself on the radio after they replay something after a basketball game. I'm like, man, is that really me? I don't think it sounds like me, but I don't know. I can't hear very well, so.
I've done that before. It seemed like I have a southern type
that you wouldn't
voice that
yeah.
I'm not very fond of. I don't know how to change that.
Maybe we need to take some lessons. Maybe I need to pronunciate a little better. So Morgenthaler here, 2-1. He's got a runner on first and second, 2 outs. Really don't want to load the bases with another walk, so we'll look to bring him something here to hit. Let your defense do the work. And that's a tad bit low and inside. 3-1 now the count. Nobody in the bullpen yet warming up over here, so.
Second baseman Ryan Teagle up for the Tigers.
Vaith playing deep behind the guy at first. And there's a strike as he swings through that one. And that'll bring the count to full, 2 outs. So
sure the runners will be moving here on the pitch.
So Henson, he's going to hold him on a little bit.
Everybody just anchor down, make a play, go to first base.
And there goes the runners. The pitch at home, and it's a tad bit high. Ball 4. Base is loaded now with 2 outs. And here comes Coach McDaniel, sporting the number 5 on the back. So out to talk to his pitcher, freshman pitcher Derek Morgenthaler.
Yeah, you got to feel for Derek. He could have been out of the inning right now, but
it is tough.
You got to battle through this. I mean, pitchers and fielders, you got to have that relationship. Sometimes you're not pitching the ball very well, and the fielders want the ball to be hit to them, and then in the same token, you're pitching well, and your fielders may not make a play and extend an inning a little bit. You just got to be forgiving and
not easy to do, but
get right back at it.
And not easy to do to think I should have been out of this. But I think if you do that, then you're going to compound the problem and not do what you need to do. So, like you said, it's a fielders, pitchers, team. Everybody's going to make mistakes. Everybody's going to make great plays, and you go with it together. Morgenthaler again brings a pitch a tad bit high for ball 1. And you don't see anybody in the bullpen warming up.
Looks like the catcher, Kaylor Ward, up. or not the catcher, sorry, the left fielder, Kaylor Ward for the Tigers up last at bat. He hit a ground ball to the third baseman, Kemper, on a throwing error.
Yeah, I say nobody's warming up. Probably somebody they're going to bring in is probably out in the field, so can't necessarily warm them up if they're already out in the field. So that could be the case. Maybe Dalton Giesler could.
Maybe
I haven't seen him pitch yet today or this weekend. And the count is 2-1. Morgan Thaler strides, comes home again high, ball 3. Nowhere to put him. Bases loaded. Bottom of the third, 1-1, 2 outs. So Morgan Thaler steps on the rubber, gets his sign. The windup and the pitch. And ball 4, not a walk in a run. The Tigers will take the lead 2-1 on ball 4. And Toombs will go out and talk to his pitcher.
Yeah, got to settle him down a little bit. Just, concentrate, throw some strikes, make them. They haven't had a hit yet. They have had a hit. They've had one hit.
One hit after you said they didn't.
Yeah. So.
Some people in the crowd or at home may be watching thinking, why hasn't Coach McDaniel pulled Morgan Thaler at this point? And, there is some question about it, but at the same point, this is early in the season. Maybe you want to see how a guy like this is going to react and get through this tough as he gets a ground ball to short or second and Staffen a little toss to second base to get the third out. So the Tigers do take the lead 2-1 here in the going into the top of the 4th. So again, you may just want to see, can he get through this situation? I know you don't want to lose any games, but or give up a big inning here, but you want to see what a guy has. Can he keep his focus and get through? And obviously it pays off, and as Morgan Thaler gets a ground ball.
Definitely, I wouldn't even come to think about taking him out or question that. He went out and talked to him, and maybe seen a problem that Derek was having, and it's all null and void now as we start the top of the 4th. And in all, really, with the amount of base runners that the Tigers had, and only trailing by 1 with a 2-1 score, that's something you have to think about and regroup and put some more points on the board.
Yeah, take the positive, move on like you mentioned.
Positive, you just had a young pitcher, a freshman pitcher, to kind of get out of a jam with not too much damage.
He's given you pretty good 3 innings. I don't know if they'll continue. We'll put him back out there for the 4th, but so far you've got 3 pretty good innings, as far as only giving up 2 runs, and one of those on an error.
Up for the Dragons is Waylon Kemper, grounded out to short last time. See if Waylon can make something happen. Get the bus rolling here a little bit. Get the merry-go-round going.
Round and round. Trade places. Just get a double and then keep trading places. That's what
That's what I like to hear.
Trade places. We do have some scores from around the area. We have Potosi beat St. Pius 6-5 today. Valley Catholic in this tournament did beat DeSoto 6-3. And that's the only 2 scores so far. Blues do play tonight. Looks like they're going to play at Vancouver.
That's a late one.
Yeah.
It's a late game.
Have to find a good place to sit and watch it.
Get back on the win track after dumping a couple.
And there's a ground ball to short for Kemper as he throws across, and that's out number 1 here in the top of the 4th inning. The Dragons are going up, and they're making contact. I mean, I don't know how many do we have? Any strikeouts?
3 strikeouts.
3 strikeouts here.
I see a lot of ground balls to the shortstop. The shortstop's been pretty active for Cape Central. The ground balls that I've been seeing have been hit back into the, back to the pitcher. It almost looks like it hits the turf mound, and the pitchers really aren't getting a good feel to field a ball to where it just kicks out from them.
Yeah.
And, it just goes right to the shortstop area.
We have Drew Toombs up to bat now as he's taking ball 1. Bauer still pitching for the Tigers as he brings ball 2.
We talked about the turf versus a regular infield, and, you know, some of those things there that I see that, you know, maybe that does play into these ground balls that I see hit up
Yeah.
the middle as opposed to being on a dirt mound to maybe, you know, be a little bit faster.
That's ball 3. Toombs takes in the dirt. So I'm sure he's got the take sign. Bauer comes home.
Yep.
And ball 4.
Might
So the Dragons get a leadoff walk by Toombs. We'll see if he's going to run or
courtesy
nope.
runner, yes.
And that is number 2, going to courtesy run Bobby Seibel.
Bobby.
Let's go, Bobby.
Bobby likes to go fast.
If you're not first, you're last.
That's right.
Seibel
He's
gets
got a
the
good lead.
Yep.
Good lead.
Vaith up to bat. Batting from the left side. He takes strike 1. We do have Dalton Giesler warming up now in the bullpen. So it looks like maybe it's the end for Morgan Thaler. Bauer looks at the runner at first. Stride, comes home. Slow little curveball. Ball must have been outside. Looked pretty good. Yeah, some of the fans here asking the umpire, where was it at?
That umpire doesn't have to talk to the fans. That's the worst thing you can do is start talking to the fans.
And there's the same pitch for strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Svay steps back in, digs into the turf. Bauer looking for the sign. Still looking, shakes it off, shakes another one. Nope. Finally gets the one he wants. Comes set and home. And Vay takes strike 3.
Looks like
So that'll be 2 outs.
probably a good pitch on the outside corner.
Yep.
Just couldn't pull the trigger to swing.
Easier said than done, but you always hate to watch strike 3. So that'll bring in Brady Boyer, number 30, to bat with 2 outs, and he's up there swinging as he swings and misses on the first pitch.
Brady grounded out again to the shortstop, who's been busy.
You sure you just don't keep saying that over and over, or is it really happening?
It is. It 4 ground outs to the shortstop. It's almost like if it's not a ground out to the shortstop, it's a walk.
Yeah, today, I guess it's the day game. Just like last night, it's always going over foul ball over.
I would think there's probably only been 2 balls.
There has
over.
been, yeah, not many.
Oh.
And Brady turns on that one. That's looks like it's going to get out of play. Over the left at dugout. So we got 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 4th. Tigers leading 2-1. Bobby Seibel is on first. He's running for Toombs. Toombs took a walk. See what Brady can do with this 1-2 count pitch. Bauer finally gets the sign he wants. Comes set, comes home. And a pitch low. Ball 2.
Oh.
2-2 the count. The fans are getting a little restless.
Only one person can call the balls and the strikes.
And it's not an easy job, is it?
No.
Brady watches ball 3.
They
Full count, 2 outs.
got to make a decision in less time than the coaches do. It's not fair.
You know I give the refs a lot of trouble when I'm coaching, but I always tell them after the game, I don't want to do your job. Seibel gets back safe. So they check on the runner at first. They've got a tough job, and I just try to fight for my kids is what I usually tell them. I don't mean anything about it. You do a great job, and you just, as coaches, you're just fighting another check at first. Back safe.
And I think that's pretty common with all coaches. I mean, I do the same thing in softball is whenever there's a close call or something that, you just stick up for the players.
And most
if you make the players are battling as hard as they can.
Ball 4, Brady.
To make a good play and put in a nice effort and, you know, they don't get a call that maybe they should deserve.
Yeah, and most refs or umpires or whatever will understand that. You know, they get it, and as long as you're not, I guess, rude, vulgar language, things like that, you know, they understand it, and you know, understand that's part of probably the job of having to take a little bit of that. But you know, the fans are the ones that it's not their job, and I know they're just trying to do the same thing, you know, root for their teams, but it probably as a ref or umpire it can get old, I'm sure. So now we got first and second for the Dragons with 2 outs, and Derek Morgenthaler up, and there's a ball in the turf, and throw down to third as Seibel is able to move over, and Brady follows him, so now we got second and third. So the ball was in the dirt. The catcher threw, not a great throw either, allowed Seibel to move to third.
It looked like Seibel got a late break.
Yeah.
He wasn't sure whether the ball was far enough for him to advance, but he broke for it, and, you know, maybe a good throw. He would have been a close play.
I agree. Derek Morgenthaler to bat now, and he jumps on that one. Brady right in front of him, shortstop. The throw and got him. So again, another ground ball to the shortstop. He's doing a great job there in the field. That's number 10, Cummins. He's doing a good job in the field. So the Dragons go down. Had 2 runners on, but unable to bring him in, and they're down 2-1. Dalton Giesler will be the new pitcher. Number 9, as he was a left fielder, now coming in to pitch.
Morgenthaler going to left field.
Yeah, I was going to see if we have any other changes, but that just looks like
it's a straight-up position switch.
Yep, still have Toombs behind the plate. Kemper at third.
Good outing for Derek Morgenthaler,
you know,
as a freshman, to come out and pitch, you know, 3 full innings and get some action in, throw the ball.
I mean, there's 2 runs on the scoreboard, but he gave up one of them, I believe. Or I don't know, do you count that one against him? The second one, even the error was on the first run, but would have been out of the inning. So
he's charged with one.
He's charged with the walk.
With the walks.
But in his mind, or the coach's mind, if that play would have been made, there would have been no runs.
Actually, I'm looking over it again. No, because that error that gave up the first run
would have ended it.
Yeah. So yes,
no runs.
No runs.
So on paper, I mean, it looks really good. You know, Derek, 3 innings, no earned runs.
Did have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 walks.
You know, we've seen that out of all the pitchers, I think, early in the season. Even out of Toombs that didn't give up any runs yesterday and pitched great. He had a couple innings where he a couple leadoff walks. So I think that's to be expected. You've seen that out of other teams' pitchers. Same way.
Center fielder Joaquin Newell up for the Tigers.
So Dalton Giesler in the pitch as he brings his first strike right down the middle.
And I'm looking at the defense for the Dragons here with the number 9 batter here, Newell. I mean, the left side, Henson and Kemper, they're creeping in.
Yeah.
Almost like as it would be a slap hitter type situation. Maybe they've seen some things
Maybe
here.
they know he's got some speed. Yeah, could lay down the bunt, or as that's ball 2 from Giesler, low and into the dirt. 2-1 the count. Again, we're in the bottom of the 4th. Tigers are leading 2-1. Giesler winds up, comes home, and outside, ball 3.
Always like looking around for every batter, just to look at where the players are positioned. Sometimes you look up and you just expect the center fielder to be in center field, you know, or playing the same spot, and you know, the way you keep score on teams,
there's a shot up the middle, base hit, just by Staffen, and Lomadier comes in to keep him at first base.
Yeah, there's so much records that's digital right now, especially on iPod, that you can keep scoring. It shows spray charts of where batters are hitting and where you can move defenses around. So,
is that something that you see a lot in high school. I mean, obviously in the pros, it's
definitely.
all the time, and they got those books and
You see
all
where
that
the
stuff, but
hitters are, spraying the ball at, where they like to hit, and then you kind of bunch that area up. No wonder.
there's a bunt laid down. That's going to be foul. So the leadoff the leadoff batter, not in this inning, but Brock Bauer is back up, the top of the lineup.
He's walked both times.
So
Been
how much of that do you do? I mean, obviously, I guess you could say you do more of that with conference district teams.
Definitely, you're going to see them a lot more for a game like this, where you could see Cape Central down the road. So these games right here,
There's
you
a
probably take a
ground
little
ball to
stop here.
first. Gaith makes the play, gets the out. The runner is able to move to second, so just as good as a bunt. Bauer able to move the runner to second base. Do you do a lot of scouting? I know in basketball, in football, either you go watch or, can't always go watch, but trade films. Is there any of that really in baseball? Are you able to go watch a lot of teams? Or I don't see a lot of filming going on, but how much are you able to do that in baseball and softball?
Not really,
It's a
not
good play
too
by Henson.
Really not too much, because it seems like you're always playing. I mean, even though we're playing about the same amount of games probably, but maybe as a basketball season, your games are more spread out over time, as opposed to softball and baseball could be within a couple of months of trying to get games in. So you're always playing. It's hard to go out and see people.
And there, Giesler hits the batter. That was number 10 Cummins. So we've got 2 outs, runner on first and second. And then will come Clayton Reynolds. Yeah, I mean, you don't get to go watch a lot of games, but I guess the film and the stuff that we can do with Huddle and coaches are able to share pretty easy. And there's the runner takes off to third. Looked like maybe a hit and run on as both runners took off as 19 was swinging away.
It's interesting. 2 outs.
Yeah, I guess, hey, give it a try. I mean,
maybe they just picked up on something that Giesler was
been.
doing. He probably wasn't looking, trying to do the same routine as a pitcher on looking once and firing home.
fired.
Sometimes as a pitcher, you got to change things up. You got to be conscious of a runner looking at you, because if you keep doing the same things over and over, runners are going to take advantage of that and take off.
So 0-1 the count as Giesler comes home. And there's a shot to center field. Wyatt Lamineer again, that low line drive. He's able to move up and make a good play to keep the Tigers from scoring. So twice, Lamineer's able to do that to end the inning. So Giesler comes in again, got a couple runners on base, but able to close it out. And the Tigers still have a lead of 2-1 as we will be going into the top of the 5th. Just hasn't changed yet, but it will. There it is, top of the 5th.
And the Dragons will have Brian Selby up. Struck out the last at bat, but hopefully of a better at bat coming up this time.
That was I was mentioning the Huddle, and it's just programs where now you don't have to go meet somebody to trade films or things like that. That's what you had to do before. Now you just send it,
And I think coaches now today are probably you work with other coaches and build up a relationship with them that everybody kind of, gives you what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done that to other coaches that I've, got to know, and, I do the same for them. You stay in contact with them, and everybody kind of shares things.
Yeah, I mean, even coaches, I've got coaches you definitely do that with, for other teams. Hey, can I see your Farmington film? I know you just played them a week ago, and I'm getting ready to play you. I know in 3 weeks, but it doesn't matter. You just share, and I'll, as long as I send him one back, that means he gets one of me. I've got one of him, and of other teams too. So I think that some coaches might not be so eager to share, and say, well, if you can't find, I'm not going to give you my own stuff. But I think for the most part, it's kind of known that. Everybody does it. That they're going to get a film on you one way or the other.
And I think filming, as Selby grounds, fouls the ball to third. Filming for different sports are different. I mean, you take basketball and football, to film a team, you get a lot of information out. If you're filming baseball and softball, you're you're more looking at your team to see what you can improve as your own team, not just the other team.
Bauer brings in ball 1. Well, I guess there's there's so many situations in, I guess, baseball that to sit here and watch an entire game on film, like you said, you may not get a lot out of it. You can only see so much, especially if, say, that you're watching a game and there's only 2 hits all game. You're not going to see a whole lot. Maybe you can see a pitcher. It might help you if you know you're going to face a certain pitcher, but you probably get that. You probably get more from statistics than you do anything else.
And if anything, and I've seen Coach McDaniel and a couple years ago, Coach Banks, that was the assistant baseball coach and helped out with hitting, to where he would set up the camera to show the hitters,
like you
stance
said,
and stuff.
Yeah, helping yourself out. So that brings the count to 2-2 as Selby fouls the one off again. Bauer still going here in the 5th inning. He's pitched all 5 innings so far. The top of the 5th here. 2-2 the count. He comes home, and Selby fouls off another one. So good at bat here for Selby. Going to see a lot of pitches. Wyatt Lamadier here in the on-deck circle. I feel like the temperature has dropped some. Don't know if it has, but there's another foul, and it knocks the umpire's mask off.
That's a Taco Bell ringer.
Yeah. Nice.
The catcher goes out, and talks to the pitcher a little bit. And some people probably think, well, why are they doing that? The pitcher's not having any problems.
Yeah.
Nobody's hurt. But you do that to give the umpire or somebody just a little bit more time to regroup and recover.
Yeah, just a
he's okay.
courtesy.
He's okay. It's just a courtesy. He's kind of laughing about it.
That's why they have the
Brian
equipment.
there's kind of making sure he's okay, saying how many fingers I have up. And umpire says 2.
So we've got 2-2 the count. Bauer brings the pitch home, and that's a bit high, ball 3.
Just see if he flinches the next time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever umpire a game where you had to suit up and?
No, I've never. I've done a little. There's a ground ball to first by Selby. That's an easy out. Done some little kid stuff, but just stood behind the pitcher's mound.
So nothing where you had to put on any equipment.
No.
I used to umpire the high school games before.
Yeah. Why'd you quit? You probably made more money than doing this. Just the heckling.
I figured that would come next.
So Wyatt Lamadier steps in with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Takes ball 1.
I rather enjoyed it. I did. I liked being on the field with the the kids and enjoying the game that way. It was wonderful. Have too many kids.
Yeah. The wind up in the pitch. Ball 2 inside. I believe Wyatt has walked once, maybe, and
I think a lot of the umpires, especially the younger umpires, would probably rather be out in the field umpiring. But,
yeah.
There's more close calls out in the field
than behind the plate.
than there is behind the plate. Behind the plate, you're just calling a ball in a strike.
Yeah, it's true.
It's easy. You're only standing, right there.
Lamadier swings through that pitch. 2-1 the count. 1 out. The Dragons looking to even the score here, and White swings through that one as he turned on that pitch that was low and inside, and that brings the count to 2-2. Bauer's got to be getting up there in the pitch count.
I would say so, but he's still firing and getting outs.
So he shakes off the side.
Timeout.
Yep. They can't agree on what he wants to throw. How much do you make the pitcher follow the catcher, or I guess the pitcher has what he wants to throw? There's a foul ball. How much do you do as a coach as calling pitches, or do you let your catchers kind of do it, or?
No, in the softball we'll call the pitches.
The coaches do. I know that I've seen coaches do it. I've seen coaches where they trust their catchers to have an idea of what to do.
And we've done that before too. I guess it's just a matter of, the type of players you have.
Yeah.
And
ball 3 against Wyatt Lamadier.
I guess you would like the players to call a game.
Yeah.
You need to have their leadership to step up to know the game and the situations.
And he gets a hold of that one at center field, but right at him. Again, the ball's not carrying.
Had a good turn on that.
Yeah, he
And
did.
I'd say if, other warmer conditions, that ball's going a lot further.
I thought it was came off his bat pretty good, but didn't quite travel very far. So that'll bring 2 outs here in the top of the 5th for the Dragons. In steps Grant Staffen, number 3. Grant's been playing second base.
He's 1 for 2 today.
And he fouls that one straight back again off the umpire. So the catcher will go again and talk to the pitcher. Give him a second.
Grant has got something in common with my family, that he's a twin.
Yeah.
And
I don't think his brother plays baseball.
I think he's a wrestler, right? Wrestler?
Yeah, they both wrestle.
Caleb. I had Caleb in 4th grade.
I think. And they both played football in middle school. I don't know if Caleb played this year as a freshman or not, but both wrestlers. But I don't think Caleb does baseball either. Brower with the windup and brings it home. Ball's in the turf. Brings the count to 1-1.
And I'm sure Grant's mom, Mrs. Staffen, is here, all bundled up like the rest of
you can't
people.
tell who's here.
Yeah,
they all
you
got hoods
can't.
on and blankets.
It's
and
amazing because next week, everybody will be in shorts and you'll be able to say, hi.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, and Grant Staffen fouls it off to the right side. And hits the light pole.
That was going right for us teams.
Yeah, it was.
I think it would have been short.
Almost might have hit that group of people standing there. Might have been over their head, though. So we got 1-2 the count. Grant staring down the pitcher. And here it comes. And there's a ground ball to third. Big hop. Staffen's taking off the throw across the diamond, and he gets him. And that'll be 3 outs here in the top of the 5th. And the Tigers still leading 2-1 as they will come to bat in the bottom of the 5th. So the Dragons just can't get much hitting going. Seems like a kind of a slow-paced game. I mean, we've had base runners quite a few innings. I don't think we had any of that inning, but both teams have had quite a few base runners. I don't know if you can figure out how many's been left on.
Cape Central's had more than St. Genevieve has with the amount of walks that they've had. So
the crowd's been kind of quiet, other than a little bit of heckling the umpire on some calls. I had my water here, but I think I'm ready to move into hot chocolate.
Are you? Hot chocolate mode? My stomach's growling. I'm kind of wanting
Hungry?
some food. What's your favorite ballpark food?
Well, it's I don't know. The mustard and the relish on a hot dog you can't quite beat for a baseball game.
It's a traditional thing,
Yeah.
huh?
I mean,
Baseball, hot dogs,
I
apple
do-
pie, lemonade.
I do like the nachos that are with the chili and just everything on it.
Now, I have really grown
jalapeno
fond
peppers.
of barbecued nachos.
Barbecued nachos.
Chicken, pork, or beef, I don't care. I
Yeah?
just love that barbecue tangy taste with some of the spicy cheese mixed in.
I don't know if I've had
It's just,
barbecued
I
nachos
just have
at
to
a game.
have it.
I'm more of the chili and jalapeno peppers, where you you're sick when you go home.
I'd be a fire-breathing dragon.
There you go. As Dalton Giesler brings in the first pitch for a strike, as Cooper Krosno is up to bat.
Yes. He seems like he's batting every inning.
And he's going to ground the ball to Vaith. Vaith with a nice play, steps on the bag, and throws it around for the first out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. You don't see,
You just don't see too many people eating.
no, with they got the gloves on. Oh, Toombs is. He's got some snack, was that trail mix, snack mix? Yeah, they're too cold, their hands are under the blankets and gloves, and I do see, there's one nachos and cheese with some jalapeno peppers there on the top row. Mr. Nick's got a beverage in his hand, a soda.
Nix is
Young
Mr.
lady.
Nix. Mr. Nix is our AD here tonight. I think Mr. Mercer was yesterday, along with Mr. Nix.
Clayton Geck doing the board and the announcing. Nice red jacket, way to support the green. As there's a pop fly to center field. Wyatt Lominer camped under that one. It was a nice catch, and that's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Somebody needs to buy Clayton Geck a green jacket.
I'm sure he has one. Just wants to
Support
I
the
have
Cardinals,
no
I
problem
guess.
with him wearing a Cardinal.
I know, it's the Cardinals. So. And Dalton Giesler brings that in for a strike. So we're looking for a quick inning here from Giesler.
But you are right. We're here supporting our St. John Dragons, and
Yep.
he is a colleague.
And there's a shot to left field as Morgan Thaler and Wyatt Lominer move under, but Morgan Thaler makes the play. So a quick inning for Dalton Giesler, 1, 2, 3. And we'll head to the top of the 6th inning. Time is starting to run out a little bit here for the Dragons. Need to make a move. We got, 2 innings left? We play 7 innings here.
7 innings here
So,
in the 6th, and things are moving quickly
Yeah,
here
they
after
are.
the first, 3 innings. Pitchers were walking people, and, the walks added up. We had base runners, and now it seems like Giesler and the Cape Central pitcher is, pumping in strikes and moving the game along.
So who do we got coming up for the Dragons here in the top of the 6th inning?
Looks like Dalton Giesler. And Dalton's put the ball in play each time. Had a fielder's choice RBI in the first. And ground out to the shortstop.
Dalton
See if we
Giesler,
can-
then
Good
Waylon.
size kid, good kid.
Yep.
Like to see him get into one. Get a double right off the bat. Double, Borney Rebel.
Looks like Waylon Kemper will be batting second and Drew Toombs third. And sounds like to me that sounds like some runs.
No train action today.
No, haven't
Trains
heard.
are idle.
Haven't heard a peep.
Taking the day off. It's pretty active last night.
It's been quiet.
I know Russ Toombs had kind of made the reference of, we kind of talked about Major League last night, doing these games. And with our train track reference, he had kind of said that, one of his movies, a baseball movie with the train in it with Brewster's Millions with Richard Pryor in it. One of my favorite actors from the 70s and the 80s. And
Well, I don't think I've ever seen it. Giesler takes strike.
it took me a while to reflect and to figure out. I've seen it before, but I pulled it out of my memory bank, and
When I went home, I was talking to, my wife, and we were thinking about movies like that is it the Love of the Game?
yeah.
Bull Durham.
Bull Durham, that's a classic. You got the Major League 1s and 2s, and there's so many kid movies with the baseball.
Yeah, the Rookie.
The Rookie.
Well, actually, there's Rookie of the Year, and then the Rookie though that's not a kid movie. Yeah.
So maybe we can come up with some type of a trivia question with a baseball movie for
There's a dinker
somebody
to the pitcher.
text in.
He turns and throws and gets him at first. There's 1 out now in the top of the 6th inning. Kemper coming to bat. Yeah, we haven't had a trivia question yet.
We're going to have to start.
Maybe Toombs can come up with one for us. I had a guy who was texting me last night and said, I'm going to try to give you a word that you have to fit in each time you do it. Some crazy word. Hasn't given me one yet, but. Ball 1 against Kemper. Again, Bauer still, the lefty, still in here in the 6th inning. He winds up, brings it home. Kemper pulls it foul. And no chance for Coach McDaniel. No effort.
No effort.
Didn't even try to get it. What do you say to his kids if they didn't move to get that ball?
Nobody but us is heckling him right now, so I guess nobody picked up on that.
Yeah.
And
I want to look over
Well,
to see
but
if
that's our job to do.
Gibson's alive over here. I don't know. It's almost like a statue. I haven't heard much from him.
Yeah. Looks like he's got his shoulders up. I'm sure his hands are in his pocket like
Yeah.
everybody else is here.
And Kipper swings through that pitch, brings the count 2-2. Good cut. Just quite getting a hold of it. Bauer here looking for his sign. Gets the one he wants. Wind up in the pitch. Kemper fouls that one straight
That was
back.
a good cut. And we're getting some fan action.
Looks like
Somebody's wanting to
Cape
keep
fan.
warm.
Bauer brings it home again. It's off-speed pitch there. And Kemper can't quite stay back. And in brings Drew Toombs with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th.
Drew has struck out and reached on a walk. And that could be something to for our listeners out there and our viewers. Maybe for a good question to ask would be, what are the 7 main ways a batter can reach first base?
7 main ways. Wow.
The
might have to
7
Google
main
that.
ways.
Who's that? Cody Schmelsley? I like it. Cody Schmelsley wants to know, someone to go check Gibson's pulse to make sure he's still. Cody
We
Schwint,
keep
sorry.
looking down at him, and he has the same
He's-
posture.
Yeah, I've seen his head turn, so he's
Maybe somebody places him out there.
yeah walks you out there.
Somebody just
Sets
sets him out like a gnome on the front yard or whatever, and like a yard
He
ornament.
does have the. I mean, it's not a beard, but he's got the long chops, silver, gray. So Toombs here has a 2-1 count. He had 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning. Dragons down by 1, 2-1. Tigers, and there's a pitch and it hits him. Toombs tries to get out of the way, couldn't.
That was
And
kind of
there's
awkward.
a runner. Yeah, it was almost like it was a off-speed pitch that Toombs thought it was coming faster and took a little while to get there, but still hit him.
And we have a courtesy runner,
And that is Seibel, Bobby.
Bobby Seibel.
Bobby Sabi again.
Come
for
on,
James.
Bobby.
In steps Vaith. And what's Vaith done so far today?
Not good. Sad to say.
Okay. There's a foul ball to the left side.
That's an improvement already. I'll just keep it at that.
Here's his time to break out.
It is.
Time to break out. Go on to say it. He hasn't got a hit, so now he'll
No,
get a
he's
hit.
had to walk back to the dugout both times.
Seibel with a good lead at first. Bauer checks the runner. Comes home. Tad bit high. Ball 1. 1-1 the count. Is the coach sitting out here? Or?
You gotta love the passion of some
Yeah,
fans.
you do.
You know.
Yeah. Better than, I guess, nothing. But I think most people are just cold. So.
Yeah.
1-1 the count.
He's already in the book.
He is. Bauer brings it home. Fouls that one off. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Hey, read Matheny Manifesto.
Here we go. Bauer's looking to get a sign. Shakes that one off. Comes set. Seibel with the lead. Comes home. Ball 2. 2-2 the count. That one was in the turf.
Deuces are wild there a little bit. We got 4
Yep.
of them on the board.
2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runs, and ball 3. As that one was close, I have to admit. From here,
That looked like a ball. It
Yeah,
looked
it
like a
did.
ball. The umpire.
yeah, outside, I think. Good height, I guess, for what I can tell from here. So here we go, full count, 2 outs. Seibel will be taking off. He checks the runner. And just like the last time this was happening, the pitcher wanted to try to keep him close, which doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess you catch him leaning, but,
Yeah.
you know, you're not as a runner, you're getting the steal. You should make sure he's going home. It's not like you're trying to get an extra jump, and there's a foul. You know, you're going to go no matter what. So you're going to make sure that the pitcher goes home. It's not like you're stealing to steal the base.
Seibel didn't take off during that pitch there. I think Coach Gibson has
He
woken
woke
up
up.
and kind of told him otherwise for this next pitch.
Bauer comes set. And home. And there's ball 4.
Okay.
So we got a walk. 2 walks in a row here. 1 hit by pitch on Toombs, and Vaith draws a 4-pitch walk. And Brady Boyer to come in the bat. See if Brady can come alive like he did last night. He had a little RBI single, I believe, in the left field. Dropped in front of the left fielder.
He's put the ball in play. Unfortunately, he's hit the ball to that.
I got it. The shortstop.
The shortstop.
Maybe that should be our question. Anybody's actually paying attention, where's the ball been hit? So 7 ways a batter can get on.
I haven't had any action yet.
No
on
action
that.
yet.
And we're talking about the 7 main. I mean, there's, you can say
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot of
error by the first
obstructions
baseman,
and
error by
errors
the
and
second
stuff.
baseman.
Yeah, but we're just talking 7 main ways to get on
Okay,
first base.
7 main ways. And the winner will get?
We've seen probably about
Foul ball.
5 of them, 5 different ways so far today. There's 4. The 3 other ones we haven't seen yet today.
Are these, all 7 of them, do you not have to be the smartest baseball guy to figure these out, or is there
There's
1 or 2
there's
that's
probably 1 or 2 that you're not thinking about.
I guess they're at home, so they could Google it,
Well, if you Google
get away with
if
it.
you Google it, you're probably going to come up with one that says 13 different ways to get on first base. Because I've actually done this with my softball team as a question after a practice. Just throw them and say, hey, I want you to go home, and your question for today is to give me 7 different main ways you can reach first base, and come back with me. Come back with me the next day, and let's review.
That's a good idea. Makes them think. Runners on first and second. Pitch comes in. That's ball 2 as that's high.
And sometimes we'll put it in a little team competition and see who can get the
Yeah.
most,
So we got 2-1 the count here. Top of the 6th, 2 outs. The Dragons are trying to score here. First and second. Brady Boyer digs in. There's the ball in the dirt.
Let's go.
Oh, and here's again the play like last time. Seibel going to be able to move over, and he's safe at third.
The way he slid in the third
yeah.
there, he didn't go with he went feet first, but his feet never touched the base first.
He was kind of on the back side of the bag. But that was just like last time.
He was clearly going to be safe.
Yeah. So we've got 3-1 the count now.
Come on, Brady.
Second
Critical
and
part of
third.
the game here.
And there's a pitch. He fouls it off. Staying alive. Staying alive.
John Travolta
Staying alive.
couldn't have danced to it any better.
Yeah, a big hit here. Find a gap, maybe score 2, or at least a little blooper and get 1 in here. So we got 3-2 the count, 2 outs, second and third. Bauer shaking off the pitch, finds the one he wants. The windup in the pitch. And there's a foul ball into the dugout.
Shake up that dugout.
Yeah. Why do you not bring, I guess, is it a visual thing? Why the fence isn't all the way up in the dugout? Can you stand up? Is there a ledge to stand up?
There's no ledge to stand there right now. And maybe that's something that could be added down the road.
Here's the pitch. And there's a drive to left field. Will it drop? And the left fielder comes in and makes the catch. So the Dragons were knocking on the door, but not able to bring in the runs as they strand 2 runners here in the top of the 6th inning. And the score still remains the same, 2-1, the Tigers. So we move into the bottom of the 6th inning. The Tigers will bring to bat
number 8 hitter John Young. He is the right fielder. And I do have a little some bites here on my trivia question for today. Not sure who the texter is. But it's hit by a pitch, walk, single, double. A single and double are kind of the same because they reach base. So a single, double, triple, and a home run all counts for the same. That's a hit in the book. So hit by a pitch we've seen today. We've definitely seen walks. And we've seen runners or batters reach first base with a single, double, triple, or a home run.
So they've
run
got
out on third base on a third strike. Definitely, that's a different way from
the
the
drop by the catcher. Is that the
yeah.
same
So
thing?
the
though?
texter that texted me, I think you have 4 right.
Let's see
And,
here. I have one. It's a single, an error, a hit by pitch, a walk.
Well, they have an error for both. I mean,
Oh,
you can't
the
say
error and the error on the catcher. So those are the same. You're saying the strikeout error on the catcher,
Well, okay, that's different.
fielder's choice, and catcher interference.
Well,
Would you accept those 7?
the E2 we need to clarify a little bit.
I'm guessing that's a
Is that
a
catcher
drop
is
on
that
a strike.
Yeah. If that's what they are wanting to say, 'cause that's really not a catcher. That's not an error on the catcher for doing that, because sometimes it's a
Bad pitch.
bad pitch. It could be a wild pitch, and the batter just chases it.
Okay, so we'll say they've got 6.
We can say that they have 6.
Single, the error, hit by pitch, walk, fielder's choice, catcher interference. So that's only 6. And I apologize, I don't know the number. Whose this is? I lost my numbers.
At any rate, it's nice to see some action.
Yeah.
At least somebody's listening.
They are
and
listening.
watching. We have 2
listeners.
people. We have 2 people watching and listening. Thank you very much.
So shoot me a 7th one, and you'll be the winner.
You'll be winner
Pass
of
ball swinging.
the hot dog dinner.
Pass ball swinging. Is that one? There's a drive into left center, and that'll get down. Lamonier will cut it off. They'll be throwing it in all the way to second. Good arm, but not quick enough to get the runner out. So there is a leadoff double by the Tigers. And that was a different batter. Number 18.
18. Pinch hit
18.
Harrison Ayers.
Ayers with the pinch hit. And he's just a hitter, so gets a double and then gets to go back to the dugout, as they'll have a pinch runner.
His job is done for today.
Oh, it was Cody Schwint.
Cody
Pass
Schwint.
ball swinging. Does that count for the 7th one?
Pass ball swinging.
So, yeah.
So that's that a swinging third strike
Yes.
drop that we're trying to.
Yes. So the single, the error, hit by pitch, walk, the missed third strike, fielder's choice, and catcher interference.
Yes.
And there's the winner, Cody Schwint.
You can come up to the ballpark here, Cody, here within the next couple hours.
And you get?
You can pick up your winner hot dog dinner for today. And that trivia question is sponsored by, I guess, me.
Yeah. Maybe we should ask Nix that since they're not here this game, we can write down, where we owe them one the next time they're here. So maybe we should do that. We'll have your wife. Your wife gets one from you last night. Mr. Schwint can have one. We'll keep it in the concession stand. They can pick up their free hot dog or popcorn. Think he'll go for that?
Maybe. I guess that's a lot cheaper than the other stuff we've been asking for.
That's true.
Back to the game
Hey,
here.
I tell you what, if he won't go for it, I'll pay for it. How about that? I could spare $1.
And the ball gets away from Toombs as he made a nice play to keep it in front of him,
Yeah.
but it went, it bounced out to where the runner could still advance.
So the Tigers have a runner on third with no outs.
Newell, the batter.
2-1 the count, and he drives that one to center. Lamonier is going to be there. The runner tags, the play at the plate, and the runner
And he
goes
didn't go.
back.
Yeah.
Probably the ball did hit the pitcher's mound, so it made it go up the line a little bit, but I think as far as the throw itself, it was in plenty time.
This is an important run. So
Schwint says, give Gibby my warm hot dog. I tell you what, though, this first base coach isn't much better. He's just.
I think we got to keep things appropriate here.
Ball one against the Tigers. Top of the lineup,
Yes.
Bauer, right?
Yes.
I guess that's how. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Baugher, Bauer.
I think.
And he drops the munt, leaves it right in front.
Oh, no.
Toombs looks at the runner back. Oh, and I couldn't see bad throw or a missed catch with the pole in the way, but that'll allow another run to score. So Toombs did a good job of popping up, looking in the runner at third, but again, and then trying to go to first, but couldn't see what actually happened, but the ball went to actually right field. So that'll
think
score
you
the
almost
third run.
Probably have to give the air to Drew.
Toombs.
I think it kind of surprised him that ball kind of popped up and stayed fair.
A runner goes to second on the steal. Nice throw
yes.
by Toombs, and he's got him.
Good play.
Nice arm, quick, plenty of time to get the runner out, and that's the first out of the inning. Second out of the inning. I missed the first one. The Lomondere, the catch in center field. So 2 outs here in the 6th inning. As a swing and a miss there.
Justin Vaught.
So Giesler
who has put the ball in play 3 times so far today, with one of them
to the shortstop. Giesler throwing strikes here pretty good. That was one in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So Tigers are able to knock in another run. Makes it 3-1. And there's a shot down the left field. That's fair. That was just over the third base bag, and he's going to get 2 as Morgenthaler comes to cut it off, and not in time to get him at second. So there's a line shot down the third base line.
Just right on the line.
You know,
perfectly placed.
I seen the rubber, bounce. So it's kind of a good, just like the dirt, I guess.
And that's something on a turf field like this. Normally on a dirt field, maybe you don't have a line after a while.
That's true.
With the use that's being made, on this turf field, that line's not going to go away. You're always going to see it.
So now the Tigers have a runner on second with 2 outs. As Giesler comes home, and that one's low for ball 2.
Joaquin Cummins is up for the 4th time today for the Tigers, who are starting to compile some at-bats.
The lead at second as Dalton throws back. He's back in safe. Did have him leaning a little bit. That's Justin Vaught out at second base. Giesler comes set, comes home, and there's a shot to left field. That could be down the line. Morgenthaler over, makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. But not quick enough as the Tigers are able to add another run, and that makes the score 3-1 in their favor. And we're headed to the last inning, folks. It is going to the top of the 7th, the last chance for the Dragons. Coming to bat for the Dragons will be
Derek Morgenthaler, Brian Selby, and Wyatt Lomondere.
So we will get back to the top of the lineup.
Hopefully we can get something going and get a lot of people up here and make this game interesting. And
we've been knocking on the door a few times, had a couple runners on, but unable to bring them in.
Different pitcher for the Tigers.
Cummins, number 10.
Number 10.
And he was the shortstop, so maybe with a new shortstop we can get one of those to go through.
Yeah, good thinking.
There's some stirring by the other teams who are getting ready to play next.
I guess that's the last game of the day here, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Perryville Pirates.
Chester Yellow Jackets. I think we could get them all up on their feet, get them going here in the last inning.
7th inning stretch. I guess since it's only a 7th inning game, I guess we would have had to do that in the 5th inning, I guess.
Yeah.
The 5th inning stretch for high school baseball.
All right, Derek Morgenthaler coming to step in. Batting on the lefty. Now, with Cummins being a right-handed pitcher, we have seen left-handed all game long. So we'll see if they can adjust. As he comes home, and ball one. He kind of has a sling to his pitch.
He does. He looks like he fires back, and he looks like he probably throws the ball a little bit harder than the pitchers we've seen today.
Yeah, ball two. So Morgan-Taylor up there. He's might get the take sign at this point right now.
I would say in the last inning here, you're down by a couple runs. Everybody's going to take a strike.
We need the base runners, and there's a pitch right down the middle, and it did. It looked like he was taken. Brings the count to 2 balls and 1 strike.
I was always, offensively thinking, and I'd never want to try to take away a strike from a batter.
And there's a shot right at the shortstop. Line drive, good hard hit. Had some pop, but just right at him. So my theory of new shortstop getting through, I guess, didn't work.
It's like playing catch right off the bat.
Yeah. And in steps Selby, number 17. He's the DH for today. See if he can get things going. As Cummins brings it home. 1 ball.
What I was getting back to I'm sure everybody here has taken a strike in the last inning, but, sometimes you think about that. You're taking away, one strike when you get
ball.
3.
Yeah.
And you're taking away 1.
Well,
so you're just kind of making it easier for the pitcher to get you out.
You want kids, I guess not be necessarily aggressive at that point, but, you don't want them to get lackadaisical in there and stand there and watch and not be ready to pull the trigger. As Selby swings and tips off that one for strike 2. Brings the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. And 1 out here in the top of the 7th. So Dragons down to the last 2 outs. Let's get a shot here in a gap, Selby. Let's wake the crowd up. What do you say?
Something. We need to do something.
Here's the pitch, and he drives it right to the second baseman off his chest. Rolling away. Selby beats it out, so we'll take it. Gets a runner on first, and that brings the tying run to the plate with number 25, Wyatt Lamineer. And here's a good time for Wyatt to give a shot here somewhere. I like the big gap here in right center. Now center fielder is going to move over a little bit, so because they're shading to the right side. So there's a gap in left center.
Wyatt hit the ball hard last time to the center fielder. Tracked it down, made a good play.
Selby gets his lead at first, so if you're make sure you don't get picked off here. No reason to, you need 2 runs. You're not the big runner, so. And there's the pitch, ball outside.
Well, let's put on those rally hats at home here if you're watching. Do something. Get up, stand up, move around, put on a rally hat, put on a hat. Do the hat dance.
Cummins comes set. And home. And strike 1. 1-1 the count.
See, no taking there.
No
first strike taken there.
Selby didn't take one either. He swung and just fouled off his first strike. So
I think that was one of those things where it was like a generation rule that you were supposed to do in the last inning, to take a strike, to make that pitcher really work.
Cummins brings it in, ball inside. Well, I think, Cummins showed he was going to throw strikes too, and you haven't seen any junk. You haven't seen any off-speed stuff. It's all been straight, somewhat hard. As he comes set, lifts the leg, and Lamineer misses that one. Strike 2. 2 good cuts, just not able to make contact. So 2-2 the count, 1 out. Runner on first is Brian Selby. As he gets his lead, Cummins shakes off the pitch, looks at first, comes set, brings it home. And Lamineer late on that one, strike 3. So now 2 outs here, down to the last out for the Dragons. And in comes number 3, Grant Staffen. So hopefully we can, he's the tying run. Hopefully we can get to Dalton Giesler, get him on up with a winning run up.
I only have one hit for the Dragons, and it came from Staffen. So
that's the guy you want up as he swings through that one. Strike one. As he digs in, staring down the pitcher. Cummins checks on the runner at first. Selby with the leadoff. Brings it home. Ball one. So we got 1-1 the count here. Top of the seventh, 2 outs. Runner on first. Cummins gets his pitch. Looks at first. There's the pitch, and Staffen grounds to third as he throws across, and that's the third out of the game. And that'll end it as the Tigers finish with a 3-1 lead. So just not enough offense for the Dragons today. Pretty good defense, pretty good pitching. I mean, we had one error that cost a little bit, but just couldn't get the bats going. As you said, they had one hit. So, you're not going to win many games getting one hit.
Nope, unless it's the right one. On the flip side of that, Cape Central did put the ball in play too, and had 5 hits here, if I'm reading this right. 5 hits on the day. A lot more opportunities to score, and they come away with the win. And this concludes the Dragons tournament for this weekend, and they won 1 game and lost 2.
Both
close games. To start out the season like that with a young team, you're in a close game here, 3-1. You lose a game yesterday to Scott City, 3-2. You get a big win last night, 8-0, and I think there's a lot positive stuff to come away from this weekend to move forward.
Yeah, like you said, close games. You're not you're not getting beat. You're not getting a lot of hits against you. I mean, obviously, probably the thing that Coach McDaniel and Coach Gibson will be the least happy with is the offense. But you got to be happy with, one error that I think we seen today. I don't really remember errors. Maybe one of last night, maybe a throwing error there too. But your defense was decent. Your pitching was pretty good, actually, I think, in the 2 games that we seen. And, so you got to be happy with that starting off the season, like you said.
Definitely. And I think, as a coach, you're probably thinking in terms of defensive first and pitching to get that in line. And the bats will eventually come as, you move on through the season. And, since they only had 1 hit today during this game, but, that's something to work on and improve. And, I think with a team like they have, a young, scrappy team, that I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah, I agree. Most of the time, you think with really any sport, if you play good defense and you always have a chance. And in this case, when you have good pitching and good defense, you're going to give yourself a chance to win. And it only takes a hit here or there, or it takes maybe an error by the other team or a mistake, and maybe it's something that Coach McDaniel looks into of playing a little small ball. I don't know if he thinks he has a speedy team or great bunters, but if you're not hitting the ball, then at least make teams make plays to try to manufacture a few runs that way.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. Nonetheless, as they fall today, 3-1, it looks like their next game will come Tuesday at home here against Jackson. So, looks like some of the southern teams we're getting a look at right now with Scott City, Chester, and Cape Central.
Well, that's good.
Jackson.
You're probably seeing teams you won't see much later. And I don't know a ton about baseball, but Jackson's a big school and probably always has a good team, and I would think Cape Central's a good size school, and but it always seems to have a good team. So I guess the good thing is you're probably seeing really good competition too early in the season. Again, you don't like the losses, but it again builds as time goes, and that's what I'm sure the coaches will probably be saying right now is, hey, we played well, we see the good things, we do have things to work on, but it's definitely definitely something that we can build on.
Definitely. You don't want to peak too early in a season and, start off red hot and everything's wonderful. You're getting everything, and then all of a sudden, it may go down. You got nowhere to go but to go down here. You at the beginning of a season like this, and you get a win yesterday, and you move forward, and you take the good and you take the bad. And there you have the facts of life.
Do we know track when their next meet is? It's really the only other sport going on, right? But track and baseball. Usually try to talk about those other sports too.
There should be a track meet coming up soon, right?
I mean, they had one yesterday. It was pretty small. I don't necessarily know that they kept a lot of other records and stuff. Probably just a golf. Oh, I forgot about golf. Sorry, golf at North County on Tuesday. And St. John Old Settlement track meet on Wednesday. So hopefully we get some warmer weather. I don't know if it's to come, but go out and watch those track guys and girls run a little bit. I know they put in a lot of hard work, a lot of running, more than I would ever imagine wanting to do. So
definitely come out and support all the spring teams that are playing.
Well, I don't know if Coach McDaniel will come up or we want to wait on him or no. So,
all right.
Well, we appreciate everybody that listened and texted in, and congratulations to Mr. Schwint for winning our trivia today.
And yes, congratulations on his newborn.
Oh, and his new baby.
I believe that's the first girl in the Schwint family in a while. So,
wow.
Starting a trend there.
So I guess he's got a good excuse why he's not here.
Maybe it's feeding time. Huh?
Feeding time.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
No.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Good. Yeah, Rob, this was fun again here.
Yeah.
And like to do it again in the future coming up. Maybe we can hook up again with another one and have some excitement.
Sounds good to me. Appreciate everybody watching.
Aloha.